Real people, real cases. This is Verdict Watch.
So if you'd raise your right hand, Mr. Lawrence, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. Can you tell me in generic form the basis for why we need to take the children away from mom at the moment?
Yes, Your Honor. So I originally had a complaint assigned to me on June 5th with concerns for Miss Scott's mental health, her homelessness. And during the first portion of my case, we were working very diligently with her. We have provided many services to try to not prevent or to prevent the removal. We had been working with her. We've been paying a hotel stay for her since that date. And we have gotten her hooked up with Michigan Works, cash assistance programs, unemployment. And since that time, her behaviors have been very erratic. We've had some days where the contact is good and she's calm and polite. Other times, she's just screaming and yelling at me, even though we're being positive with her. The day I met with her, which was the first time was June 6th, I spent from shortly a little after 11 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 meeting with her here at the office, getting her set up for the hotel, getting the funding approved through our director. And when I tried to talk to her about what was going to happen, she was very defensive, very angry, and she was having a hard time understanding what was being said to her. I had met with her then the following week, and most of my interaction during that week was pretty good. She was very calm. She was very appropriate. We had a team decision-making meeting here at the office, and she was open to the recommendations and services. But there's a lot of concerns with the mental health. Ms. Scott was claiming that there's people out that are following her around and trying to snatch her and trying to snatch her daughter. We just don't have any evidence to support any of that. And again, when we got her in the hotel room, that very first night, she had contacted law enforcement because she thought people were putting cameras in her hotel room. Again, nobody would have known where she's at besides us here at DHS and her. She ended up ripping the shampoo bottles and damaging the shower because she thought there was a camera there. She even made a recording of it. And when I reviewed that recording, there was nothing. She was trying to claim if I watched closely, I could see the wall move and stuff. There was none of that in that video. And then as of last night, I got another complaint assigned to me regarding her that came in just shortly before midnight, in which there was concerns that she had gone to the hospital yesterday evening. She was requesting that she and her daughter receive rape exams, and she was very incoherent with the hospital about the information of why would they need that. And basically all she could give was that she had been looking out her hotel window and saw some strange men, and then believes that they raped her. I followed up with Sergeant Prey that was at the hospital last night as well. And he advised me that when he talked to Jenny's daughter, Jenny Bauman, there was no indication that this happened. She never made a disclosure that the rapes happened or any of that. I also, when I talked to the hospital last night, there was a lot of concerns that when they were trying to talk to her about the situation, she was just rambling on and could not stay on topic. I know that the doctor had at one point asked her about what medication she was taking, and she couldn't answer the doctor, and her 8-year-old daughter had to answer the question for her. Also, while she was there, she stated that the reason she knows she was raped is because she claimed that her vagina smelled like death, and so that's the sign of rape. She was just very off wall. She was very aggressive during the time in the hospital, very up and down, to the point where law enforcement had to separate her and her daughter because she was just getting too out of control. I know that the hospital, in trying to control the behavior, had to do some medication treatment with her. And I know that the first time that they tried to do the medication, it just made her more enraged. And so they ended up having to do a second treatment. Her overall, her mental health is very concerning with these allegations that she's making, and we have no evidence to support any of it or to show any of it's going on.
The daughter, Jenny Boffman, has been staying with mother in while mother's been homeless in a car, as I understand it, for last couple of weeks.
Yes, that was correct, Your Honor. That was part of the initial complaint. That's why we worked very diligently that first day that we got the complaint to get the hotel. And since we did that, initially we had reserved funding from the 6th through the following week. However, our director was able to then put in and get authorization to extend it to this Friday. However, due to the circumstances that have happened, it stops as of today.
All right. And mom is currently on her way to a mental health treatment facility for at least the next 72 hours. Is that correct?
Well, so when I talked to the hospital, the 72 hours was what she would stay at OMH. She, regardless of what was going on, she was going to be staying in the hospital here for 72 hours or until they could locate the bed. We do not have a time frame on how long she'll be at the new facility yet.
All right, but they've accepted her there, and they're going to give her a course of treatment there. We just don't know how long the treatment's going to be. Is that right?
That's correct. That is correct.
So tell me where the children will be placed while mom's not available for care and custody.
So as it relates to little Jenny, as we refer to her, we are looking at having her placed with her siblings, Addison and Arian, because she has definitely, in my context with her, she's expressed missing her siblings. As it relates to Aiden's going to be staying here with a family here in Gaylord that we are going to look at doing the independent living program with, because that will allow him to remain on the football team that he's currently in practices for, plus his basketball team, plus be able to graduate with his friends in class. And then as it relates for Addison and Arian, they were already placed with their father, and we would ask that that placement continue with their father.
All right. Talk to me a little bit about substantial risk of harm to Jenny Boffman, the young child, if she were to remain placed with mom.
So if Jenny were to remain with her mom, she would be exposed to a substantial risk of harm due to Jenny's current mental health and the lack of ability that it presents for her to even care for herself. If she's unable to do that, then there's the exposure to being physically neglected herself.
And all that would be a reason for it being contrary to the welfare of the child to remain placed with mother?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. And what reasonable efforts have you made? I know you've mentioned some of them, but what reasonable efforts have you made to prevent the removal of the child from mother?
So some of the reasonable efforts that we've done drug screens. We have done the assistance for MDHHS to pay for the hotel. We have provided gift cards to purchase food. We were able to get her set up through our DSS programming in which they were able to give her gas cards for attending programs through Michigan Works. We have her set up with NEMSCA for the housing, which originally appeared to seem to be going pretty well. Jenny was following through with doing the applications and stuff. We also had her set up so that she could look at doing cash assistance through our office as well to help her financially since she was currently unemployed.
All right. Are there any other services or arrangements except removal that would be reasonable to adequately safeguard the minor children?
No, there is not, Your Honor.
And do you believe that placement of Aiden with the local family here in Gaylord and with Jenny with Mr. Hesselmeyer would be adequate to safeguard their needs at the moment?
Yes, I do.
All right. Is there any other placement that you would believe would be more family-like or proper for the children?
No, I do not.
All right. Mr. Sommerfeld, are there any other questions that you want to ask of this witness?
Yes, Mr. Lawrence, when you went through the 5 factors, substantial risk of harm, no other provision, contrary to welfare, reasonable efforts, and is placement away from the parent adequate to safeguard the children, that applies to all of the children, just not Jenny. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and it was basically you agree that the issues that she has with mental health and homelessness and this behavior where she doesn't seem to be connected to reality, all of those factors apply to all the children that would create that substantial risk of harm, and there's nothing else we can do here. It's contrary to welfare. You went through reasonable efforts, and then the children will be safe in the plan that you presented to the court with Jenny, with Mr. Hesselmeyer, and then Addison and Arian staying already there, and then Aiden with the local family due to his age and the opportunity for independent living to continue his school.
That is correct.
Okay. That was it, Judge. The only thing I would suggest, I know Mom is being transported to a mental health facility for care and treatment, that the court, and she's not present, so you're not able to do this on the record today, that we send Mom the JC 111, the advice of rights after removal, just to comply with everything that we're supposed to do here.
Yep, we'll do that. I did have a couple other questions that I forgot about. As to the fathers for, let's start with Jenny Boffman. Were you able to determine whether or not there was a potential father in that situation?
So, yeah, Jenny does have a father. His name is Skip Boffman. He has not been involved in at least the last 3 years of her life. There's no indication that he's attempted to even try to provide care or custody for her. There's nothing through friend of the court that he showed that he's tried to do anything. In reviewing some case history this morning that I found, Your Honor, I found that he also has 2 other kids that during a case in 2022, due to his housing conditions, no electricity, no water, just poor conditions, he took the steps and placed those children in what was initially a power of attorney with some family friends. However, that power of attorney ended up turning into a guardianship, and that guardianship is still in effect as of today.
All right. Do you believe that it would be a substantial risk of harm for Jenny to be placed with Skip Boffman then?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Given the fact that he's not taking proper care of the other children that you mentioned?
Correct.
All right. Are there any other services except for removal that would substantially safeguard Jenny if she were to be placed with Mr. Boffman?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
Do you believe it's contrary to Jenny's welfare to be placed with her father, Mr. Boffman?
Yes, I do.
And give me just a couple of reasons why that's true.
Mr. Boffman has not provided any care or custody within the last 3 years. There's been no action by him to appear to want to care for her through either the front of the court case or anything. I didn't see anything where there's been any motions filed for parenting time or a split in the custody arrangement. Also with Mr. Boffman, he's had his children, what initially started out as a power of attorney, but then it turned into a guardianship, and that guardianship has remained in place and in effect with those children with no involvement from him.
Do you know of any reasonable efforts that have been made to prevent the removal of, or the non-placement of Jenny with her dad?
Yes, so we've looked at the case history. There has been case services provided to him in the past through multiple CPS investigations. I know that there has been services offered to him as far as towards his housing and stuff. I know that Mr. Boffman also could have looked at housing assistance through the VA since he was previously in the military.
All right. And finally, do you believe that the conditions of child custody away from the parents are adequate to safeguard Jenny, including away from her dad now, based on the previous information that you've already given me today?
Yes.
All right. And then as to Aiden Scott, I ask you the kind of the same questions. Do you believe that there'd be a substantial risk of harm to Aiden to return him to his father, which would be Jamie Staley?
Yes, Your Honor. I've had several investigations with this family. Aiden has not had any direct contact with his father. His father has attempted only, like, I want to say 3 times that I've been able to find where he tried to reach out to him by Facebook or text. There's no bond or connection between the two of them. Aiden doesn't really look to him as his father to begin with. He's always identified Mr. Hesselmeyer because that's who he's grown up with the most and who has provided that father-like figure to him. So there's also been, at no point has Mr. Staley provided any physical care towards Aiden.
All right. So it sounds like there would be no provision of service or other arrangement except removal that would safeguard Aiden during this time period.
Correct.
All right. And do you believe it, based on the information you've already given me, do you believe it to be contrary to the Aiden's welfare to be placed back with his biological father?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And then consistent with the circumstances, do you believe that there have been reasonable efforts to prevent Aiden from having to be removed from Mr. Staley?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. And then do you believe that the conditions of custody away from Mr. Staley are sufficient to safeguard the child's health and welfare?
Yes, I do.
All right. I will make a finding of all of those things as well based on your testimony. I believe that it's appropriate on a preliminary basis to remove the children for protective custody purposes. We will appoint guardian ad litem, and then we will appoint attorneys for the mother and each of the alleged respondent fathers. And because of the need to do that, we will adjourn today's hearing to a time and place set by the court. We'll send out the notices, the advice of rights forms, and the notice of appointment of attorneys to all parties as well. Mr. Sommerfeld, is there anything else that we need to do today?
Judge, I don't know if I missed it, but did you cover the reasonable efforts for Jamie Staley, the father of Aiden?
I believe we did.
Okay, I just want to make sure. And then the request for the JC 111 would apply also to the two fathers identified in the petition and which Mr. Lawrence has just testified to.
Correct. Yes, we will send it out that advice of rights form to the mom and to the two respondent fathers. Don't think there's anything else that I need to find on the record. Once we get mom and the dads with some notice and get them here, we can get them arraigned and talk to them directly. But other than that, thank you both very much. We'll get the paperwork processed as quickly as we can.
Is there an address?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does she get mail there?
Yeah.
Can she attend hearings?
Mr. Lawrence, what address should we use for mom at this time?
Your Honor, we have been using the DHS office as her address. I do plan on making some contacts to see how long she'll be at the hospital in Sheboygan. But we've been using our address here at the DHS office for her mailing address.
All right, we'll use that for now for our purposes. Make sure that once you do find out what her current address is going to be, that you let us know about that so we can send out mail notices to her as well. So, all right, thank you, gentlemen.
Is there an address for Mr. Staley? There's not one on
Oh,
here.
Mr. Staley also does not have an address listed on the petition form that we have. Do you have one?
That is something that I've been working on this afternoon, Your Honor. I've been trying to search for a current updated address. The last address that we had for him was in, I believe, in Ionia, and he is no longer in that residence. I believe that I may have found him in Gladwin County, but I don't have a correct identification as far as if it's him or a different person. I got to do a little bit more digging, but I believe that we'll be able to get that sorted out quickly for you.
All right. Once you do, again, let us know because we need to send out our notices as well. So thank you very much. All right. That's all, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll be in recess.
Thanks for watching Verdict Watch. New court drama every day. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a case. Leave a comment with your thoughts. We're watching too.